I'll put the music on.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're live. Hey, what's up, everybody? Joshua Casper back at you. Plugin Boutique once again. Special Serato Studio stream today. We're here with Matt Perry, Artist Relations Manager and Product Specialist over at Serato. We're going to be giving away a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about Serato Studio. We're going to go in depth with the man himself, the man who knows everything about everything. Let me just see what's going on. Just making sure that, yeah. And Matt, how are you today?
I'm really good, man. Thank you so much for having me today on the channel.
No, thanks for popping by. It's like early where you are, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's business hours now. We're hitting 9 a.m., so, you know, it's the start of the day.
Well, I appreciate you waking up early because I saw your email earlier and you're like, at 8:30. I was like, wait, what? 8:30?
Yeah,
because I believe it's 5 o'clock in the UK. It's 1 o'clock here. So we're global right now. This is awesome.
Yeah.
What are we going to be talking about today? And maybe if you want to do a little bit of an introduction about yourself, who you are, where you've been, what you're doing, and so on.
Most definitely. So yeah, my name's Matt. I work for Serato. I'm an artist relations manager in North America. So I work with a lot of our artists, DJs and producers and other people. And yeah, we're talking about Serato Studio today. And Serato Studio is, yeah, it's been out now for what, 2 years, and it's a real priority for Serato right now. We're a production company, at the very beginning with Pitch in Time, and we released Serato Sample also a few years ago, and that's been doing really well for us. And so taking the experience that we've had as a DJ company, I think probably most people are familiar with us as a DJ company from Serato DJ, our software. I think you and I have talked about your DJing and using the Scratch Live back in the day and stuff. So we're also we're taking all the learnings that we've had from being a DJ company for the last 10 years, 20 years, and we've started making our first DAW, which is Serato Studio.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Scratch Live when it came out was like revolutionary because you could still use vinyl to DJ, but you didn't need to lug the vinyl. Man, vinyl is heavy. A lot of the kids these days don't know, bro. Like, I'd be able to bring just 4 discs, 2 control discs, and 2 if something went wrong, I could have 1 more. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. So I mean, I've been a fan of Serato since then. That was, like 12 years ago, wasn't it? It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I think 2004 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you started getting the Rain mixers, and I believe that's where Sample kind of was born, right? Inside of the mixer, it's got sort of the same feature set as some of the Rain mixers had.
Yeah, a lot of people were, a lot of the DJs, most DJs want to be producers, and that's like a really important, trajectory for any kind of DJ is to get into production. And a lot of people were using the cue points in Serato, to kind of chop up samples or play around with arrangements. And it was a real natural progression to take that kind of workflow, that mindset of, easily moving cues and put it into a sampling plugin. And so that's where Serato Sample was born.
Yeah, I mean, I've had hands-on. I've done a few videos with Sample, and it really is kind of like a natural way to make a kind of sampled hip-hop style beat. I know you're familiar with those types of beats. You played me one. That one in the beginning of the video is actually one of your kind of edits, right?
Yep.
So just if you're looking to get into that style, for sure, Sample is going to be something you want to check out. And as I was trying to say in the beginning, it seems like a natural progression because you went from, just Scratch Live to the Rain mixers to having Sample in the mixer and then having the VST. And now you have this DAW, which is kind of like an intro DAW for DJs. It's like if you're a DJ, like I was back in the day, looking to start making your own beats, this seems like the perfect place to start because it already has sort of the feel. If you're familiar with the Rain mixers, if you're familiar with Sample, it's got sort of that same feel. So you'll feel right at home right when you jump in. And it's really kind of entry level, but still it has enough features, it seems like, for the advanced users who really want to take it to the next level. But in terms of like sort of getting started, the gateway DAW, this seems perfect to me. And I'm a little bit upset, Matt, that I didn't have it when I was getting in, and I had to just jump straight first into, feet first into Ableton Live version 4. But this seems like, yeah, I mean, that's how long I've been using it. I just dated myself, but this seems pretty sweet, and I'm excited for you to show me around. I've obviously done some videos with Studio already, and I had a great time doing it, but I'm sure there's no question that you're going to be able to show me some things that I've never seen before. And for everybody watching, definitely put your comments and your questions in the chat, and my friend Leon is in there, and he's going to send me those. And after Matt does a nice demo for us, we're going to just open it up to a Q&A. So if you have any questions for the product specialist from Serato, like the guy you need to ask your questions to, we're going to do that at the end of the stream. But before we jump into your demo, Matt, I'm just going to go ahead and give away some plugins. What do you think? Does that sound like a good idea, Matt?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's do it.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to 5 times throughout the stream, we're going to give away 2 plugins. We're going to give away a copy of Sample and a copy of Studio to people who are active in the chat and who have hit the like button. So go ahead and hit that like button. And right now, let me know where you're at. So to be entered into this giveaway, let me know where you're at right now, where you're from. And we're going to pick 2 lucky winners. One's going to get Sample, one's going to get Studio. And at the end of the stream, I'll announce all the winners. But one other thing, Matt, and I'm sorry, I talk a lot when I'm on stream. I do apologize. We do have a massive giveaway that your friend's good friend Mark over there at Serato has hooked us up with. And I'm just going to read off this giveaway because I was blown away. Let me just make sure here. Do you know offhand what the prize list is, Matt? Did you see it?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't memorize that, but I know it's a lot of cool stuff, though. I know there's it's definitely enough to get you going if you need to set up.
Yeah, there's no question. So one lucky winner we're going to choose at the end of this stream, someone who's been active in the chat, positive influence over there, is going to get a copy of Serato Studio and Serato Sample and an Akai MPK Mini3, 2 Mackie CR3X monitors, including the cables. Very, very nice addition there. Sometimes you just get the monitors and you don't have the cables. Like, what are you going to do? And then the 1 set of Mackie MC250 headphones. And yeah, oh, yes. So yeah, definitely be active in the chat for your chance to win that. That is a massive prize package that I want. If Joshua gets the winner at the end, I mean, I'm not going to complain, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be involved. But what I'm going to do is just be quiet for now, Matt, and let you take over and just get us started inside of Serato Studio.
Sure thing. Okay, so yeah, so this is Serato Studio, as we talked about. It's really, really great if you've had any experience with the Serato DJ software. But even as an advanced producer, I'm going to try and showcase some of the things that differentiate Serato Studio from other DAWs and some of the really cool features that are, really inspiring and will get you going. So when you first open up Serato Studio for the first time, you're greeted whether you want to make a remix or a beat. I'm going to focus on making a beat, but I'll let you know that if you wanted to make a remix, it's really, really fast and really easy. Maybe if we get a little extra time, I can showcase that as well. And you're greeted with, like a lot of other DAWs, what sort of genre you want to make. I'm just going to make a hip-hop beat today. So I'll click on hip-hop, and this will bring up our a template, and it will give us the project tempo at 95 beats per minute and the project key of C minor. It also will load up. Yep.
What's the difference there? If I had chosen, or if you had chosen remix, what's the difference in terms of what you're presented with at the start?
It's a good question. Just 1 second. I'll just actually open that right up again, and we'll go new project from template, and we'll click on new remix. So if we click on new remix, we're taken to this screen here, which is the audio tracks, and in your Serato DJ library, you'll be able to pull in a whole song. So say you wanted to remix like an old boogie song or 80s kind of funk song, you could go in here and you could find, I don't know, let's see what I got, Danger Zone, something like this. And you
Let's
can
not play that, though.
It's okay. And this will be then dragged into this song view here down the bottom, the whole song. And what you'll see here automatically with the project key is it's synced to D minor, and the project tempo is now 114 beats per minute. And that's because if we go back to our Serato DJ library, the song has already been analyzed at 115 and D minor. So it's basically set the project key and tempo to this song so you can start working right away with that in mind. And then you can start chopping up the song and arranging it in here. So yeah, it's more of like you're working with two songs or a song and you're making more of an edit, or just chopping up the audio. You can set cue points and things like that, or if you've used Serato DJ, you can click on Serato DJ and pull in those Serato DJ cue points.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then, let's just delete that. You can start pulling in, the drum beat here. You can chop it up or, arrange it a little bit better from however you want to arrange the song on the grid here. And this grid, of course, is all mapped to the project tempo down here, so you can start, duplicating things, or it's just basically like any other DAW, except you can chop up the audio and have it faithfully already synced up. And that's
okay.
I guess in short, like, that's one of the most unique things about this software, is that everything is really synced to the project key, and everything's reading it from the DJ library or the analysis. So as you know, if you've ever used Serato DJ, you can analyze your songs, but you can also analyze them in here as well. So you can analyze your files, or you can just drag a song and analyze the file there. And it'll figure out the BPM, and it'll figure out the key, and then it'll apply that to the file and the key tag and the metadata. So it's always easily recallable like that.
Nice.
So, yeah, super helpful, and also very visible. Maybe we'll touch on that a little bit later, though, if that's okay. I'll go back to the beat.
No, that's perfect. I was just wondering what the difference was when you choose one over the other. So you've answered my question.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Let's go make some beats, man.
Okay, so we'll go back to clicking on hip hop here, and then we'll again, it's set us our tempo at 95 beats per minute, and we've actually got a drum kit already loaded up here. And today I'm using my, I think this is maybe one of the prizes, the Akai MPK.
Ooh.
So this is the MIDI device of choice for today, and this is already pre-mapped, which is a really nice thing about this particular device. Speaking of MIDI devices, if you're a DJ, if you happen to be a Serato user already, and you have a DJ controller or a DJ mixer that has like the pads on it and it's a MIDI device, it will automatically, for the most part, be mapped to this. So all the EQs and all these buttons will all work. And yeah, so we've got the drum kit here. How's that sound? Is that loud enough?
To me, it sounds great. Let me just check the chat. Chat, let us know how that sounds.
Cool.
Oh my goodness.
Is there a lot going on in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it sounds good. I think Leon will let me know if they can't hear it, but I mean, I can hear it here, so I'm assuming everybody can hear it. So just keep cranking, bro.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we got the drum kit here, and there's basic step sequencer here, which is pretty standard if you've ever used a program like FL Studio, or I mean, step sequences are pretty universal at this point. By default, we've got a 1-bar phrase, and you can see the 16th notes are spread across that 1-bar phrase. I want to use at least a 2-bar phrase. I'm not really a 1-bar kind of loop guy myself. But if you want, you can program your drums in just like you'd expect. This is pretty standard for most people if you've ever used a step sequencer. But you can also choose the make drums feature, and you can just click on that, and it will give you a random drum pattern in the genre that you've chosen.
Oh, nice.
And you can kind of just cycle through these until you find something you like. I'm just going to work with that, and then I'm going to explain a little bit about this section here. So obviously, these drums are are cracking, are loud, but maybe I don't want that clap to be as loud as it is. So I can just click on that clap, and then everything on this left channel here is going to affect just the clap or any drum hit within this drum kit that I'm working with. So you'll see here, this is a kind of a light blue, and then all the controls here are light blue. And then if I even open up the effects panel here, all these three slots here are also in the light blue color. If I add, I don't know, some reverb, for example, that's light blue as well. So yeah, basically these three effects in this channel will affect each individual sound, whereas everything on this right channel here will affect the bus, essentially a drum bus. So let's just bring this volume down. And this is the stock.
And that
effects.
reverb, is that a built-in effect?
Yes. So yeah, all these effects here are just the stock effects. You can actually see them on this left tab here.
Do you know how many there are, just off the top, to do them there?
Looks like about
a
40.
Lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does Serato Studio have VST support?
Absolutely, VST and AU support. So if you did want to use your own plugins, and I'll get to that in a bit, you can add your plugins to these parts here, or if you have instruments, you can also add instruments, which I'll get to in just a moment as well.
Awesome.
Speaking of drums, though, all these drums that I'm using right now come with the software. So it does have a bunch of the packs that you can download. I highly recommend even just getting the demo if you're not quite prepared or you're not sold on this yet. Just get the demo. There's a free version of Serato you can download, and if you subscribe, you can get access to all these packs. And these packs are fantastic. Like, oops, probably didn't need to see that one. But we've got all sorts of different drum packs for whatever you want to make. The house pack in particular is fantastic. It was made by an artist called Akai, who I really admire. We've got EDM pack, trap pack, hip hop pack. We've got Track Girl drum kit, who's an artist, a very well-produced, well-respected artist who's produced massive songs for artists. We got our own horn section, stolen drums, DBRC.
So these are free if you're a subscriber.
Yes,
is what you're saying?
Absolutely, and royalty free.
And what if you're not? Are these available for like individual purchase?
No, so definitely get on that sub. It's only like $9.99 a month US, or you can buy the whole program outright for $200 US. And even just sub just to get the sound packs, man, they're so good. It's a really
just Blaze.
Yeah,
my goodness.
Yeah, we got Philosopher drums, loop masters, and even like the stock sounds. The core pack, which it comes with, even if you download it for free, has sounds from like really big names like Decap, MSX Audio, Gold Baby. Really well respected artists and producers.
Nice.
So yeah, we've loaded up this hip hop drum kit. It's sounding pretty good. But if I wanted to load up, say, a Decap drum kit, you'll see here there's like a little snare drum, and this is going to indicate a whole drum kit. And the drum kits are laid out so that they're always going to follow this kind of pattern. So if I did load up this drum kit, you'll see that all the drums sound exactly what you'd expect. I'm just going to go back to the one before, but yeah, like you could load up a Jazzy Jeff drum kit and see how that sounds. Maybe you want to add a snare on this one. And I maybe want to turn down this. Good. Yeah, this hi-hat.
Sounds real good.
Yeah, and this is the thing, is that like, realistically, getting samples is kind of, unless of course you have a Splice account, which shout out to Splice. If you sub to this, you also get 2 months free with Splice. It's like you need to be able to find samples, right? And sometimes that's quite challenging for people to find good samples. So we kind of tried to remove a lot of those challenges and just make it easy and fast and fun. And that's really the ethos behind Serato Studio. It's fast and it should be fun. So you can get right into creating and making beats really fast. So with that in mind, we've got like a little drum pattern. I don't want to like spend too long on this, but I will say that if you did want to switch out this clap for something, or maybe this click sound, you could just find a sound. So the sounds are indicated by this little squiggly waveform, and you can color them if you want. And let's use that one. We'll just drag that in there, so you can replace them really easily as well, and then you can put them in wherever you want in here. So, and just there you go. You're off cooking. Let's turn A down.
Throw some reverb on it too. I don't. It's too dry. It's too dry.
Yeah, I'm with it. Let's throw some dub echo on it. Hey, let's see what happens.
You know, that's the call. There it is.
Dial that back a bit. Okay, so we got a basic drum pattern. I'm happy with this for now. I'm gonna add one of the three options we have here: add drums, add sample, or add instrument. For this one, I'm gonna add an instrument. So I'm gonna go right in here, and this is gonna take me on the left here to this little tab for instruments, and I can use from the preset kind of genre. What am I looking for? Instruments here. I can choose pianos and keys, and I can just find a piano. And if I didn't want to use a piano, maybe I wanted to use my own plugin, I could go into my plugins tab here, and this is in response to your question about VST effects and plugins and so forth. I can choose from my instruments tab. Maybe I'll use addictive keys, and that will load up this plugin instead. Let me just pull this up so you can see. And I'm going to use the Mark 1, and we'll just see how this sounds now. I need to see that. Cool. So we've got our keyboard loaded up. Excuse me. And the good thing here is that since we know we're working in the key of C minor, it's given us the 8 notes of C minor on the 8 pads here, starting from C to C. If I change that project key to D minor, this is going to start on the root note of D to D. So it basically has taken the other notes out of the chromatic scale that we don't need and just given us the 8 notes of D minor. However, if you're really good with harmony and you really don't want that, you can turn off play and key off, and then you can have your standard chromatic keys starting from C to C and the full keyboard roll here. And then you can yep.
When it's on, if you switch it back on, does it make the notes dead, or does it push the notes if you hit the wrong key?
It pushes the notes. So you'll see on the keyboard, well, hopefully you can see a little bit. Oh, you'll see on the keyboard, well, pressing buttons.
It's all right. We can visualize.
Yeah, so basically what happens is you get, if you're playing in C to C, and you're playing C major, for example, and you pressed one of the flat keys or sharps, it would just make it a natural key. So it wouldn't allow you to play a wrong note, essentially.
Cool.
So yeah, you can add your keys in from that, or melodies or whatever. And another extra really cool function is it actually has this thing, a chord generator called auto chord. And when you choose that and you press one of the keys on your keyboard or on your MIDI keyboard, it'll play a triad relative to the project key. So 3 notes starting on D. It's your D minor chord, and then it'll continue to move up the scale. And you can see on the keyboard roll here, it's just playing those 3 notes. If you want to add a 7th or a 4th note, you can press 4, and then you'll get the 7th. So, yeah, and then on top of that, if you want to add feel to it, you can just crank up the feel, and that will give you like a kind of a played, strummed style. So if you're not super good with music theory, this is really helpful. Even if you are really good with music theory, it's also like a really great way to get inspired from ideas that you may not naturally come to just, playing chords from your, music theory ear. Let's record that in. Let's just go and record in a really basic pattern. And this is quantized. I've got the quantize button active. You can turn that off if you prefer to play it and retain your natural timing. If you have it on, it will snap the notes to the grid, which is, in my opinion, for this demo, exactly what I need to do so I don't look stupid. So that, yeah, we've got like a basic pattern in now, just a really straightforward chord progression. And then just to make this sound a little bit more exciting, and since we're talking about plugins and this is Plugin Boutique, we should add some effects and some plugins to the keyboard that we've just recorded. So one of the first things I'd like to do is maybe add one of my favorite effects. I think this one's pretty popular if you're making rap music or lo-fi kind of music. That's the RC20 Retro Color plugin. We'll just drag that in there, and this is going to lo-fi up our roads. It's pretty good automatically. Happy with that. I'm not going to get too far into tweaking the plugin because we've got limited time. And another effect that is extremely popular in popular music right now, contemporary music, is the sidechain effect. And another thing that is kind of unique about Serato Studio is that it takes a lot of the routing and guesswork out of sidechaining. You just basically pull up the effect sidechain. You have two options, soft or hard sidechain. I'm just going to use the soft sidechain, and you'll see here that the routing is automatically defaulted to the kick drum from the first drum kit that we've added. So we don't actually have to route it. It just does it for most likely the thing that you're going to do it. I mean, you can obviously choose to sidechain from whatever you want, but most of the time, I'd say like at least 95% of the time, we're trying to get that kick drum to trigger the sidechain. And then we just turn it up, the wet dry knob. And we're getting a kind of contemporary lo-fi sounding kind of drum beat here. Yeah, so next thing I want to add is another instrument. I want to add a bass line just to fill out that low end. So we'll go actually to the stock sounds, and we're going to use some of the stock instruments in here. We're going to go to the bass tab, and I'm going to pull in the decap head explosion bass.
That sounds like a great bass.
It really does, and it's my favorite one. I go to this bass all the time. It just sounds good. It sits really well in the mix. Shout out decap. And again, you'll see here, playing key is on, and that means that this, these notes are all in the key of D minor. So if I play C on the keyboard, it will be the root note of D minor, and I'll just be able to play along with the keyboard pattern we just did. So I'm actually going to use my computer keyboard for this because I know that 1 and 5 are the two notes that I need to record in. So let's go. It's a bit loud. I'm going to turn that down. And I might turn the keys down a little bit as well. They're pretty hot.
Hey, Matt.
Yep.
So you're using, for that bass, is an internal instrument. What kind of control do you have over like that patch, as you'd probably call it?
Yeah, well, you have like all the 3 effect slots here, which you can add to it. You have an EQ, you have filter, gain, and level, and then you also have attack and release.
Okay.
And additionally, we have this really nice feature called glide, and that's just a portamento. You have 2 options for the portamento. You can do a trigger or sustain. I like the trigger, and the way it works is basically, if you want it to bend, you can basically hold the note and then press the next note, and it will slide up or down depending on where you're going. So, and that's really a very popular way. All the trap producers are doing these kind of crazy bends and stuff these days. And it's also just nice, and that any mono instrument will have that. This is a mono instrument right now. If you click poly, you'll notice that goes away. But if you click mono, then it pops up again.
Nice. Matt, let's go ahead and give away another set of plugins for the community that's tuned into the chat. So this is your chance. We're going to give away a copy of Serato Sample and a copy of Serato Studio, the software Matt's being. Yes, yes. Oh, I love the sound effects, man. I need that for my other streams. You got to send me those. So yeah, let me know your favorite genre of music in the chat right now, and my friend Leon will pick 2 lucky winners, and we'll announce those winners at the end of the stream. Matt, before you jump back in, it seems to me that Serato Studio is, you can look at it as sort of 2 ways, which are both the same, and that is it's definitely for beginners, but it's also extremely streamlined. And, I mean, I know how to do sidechain routing, but I hate doing it. It's tedious. So just the fact that it automatically is routed to the kick drum, where you're absolutely right. 95% of the time, that's where you're going to want to route it to. It just does it. I mean, that just seems like, yes, why is not every DAW doing this? And, between that and removing the keys outside of the scale, you've got dragging and dropping, and just everything seems very streamlined to me. And yeah, it's just great, man. I mean, I might start using this all the time, even though, I haven't. I have it. Actually, I do have it.
You do have it. Yeah. I mean, that's really the way I look at it, is that this probably won't replace, like, if you're an Ableton user, it may not replace your DAW. And there's obviously a lot of things that it doesn't do right now. One of those things is actually recording, which we'll get to, but that is actually something that's going to be coming to Serato Studio very soon. And yeah, I mean, we're constantly developing this product. It's going to be evolving very quickly, in much the same ways that Ableton was, a very simple and specific purpose, plugin at one point. And hopefully, you'll just be able to grow with it. But the whole concept of streamlined workflow and fast creation is something that we all really want. We don't want to have to second guess our thoughts, and anyone who, produces music understands that intimately, that we can spend a lot of time kind of like overthinking what we're doing, and this really does try and remove a lot of those barriers to just making good music and making fun beats. And like music, some of the most popular music is simple music, right? It's not overthought. It just gets to the feeling and capturing that kind of excitement when you're making it. So this really keeps, for me, it keeps that excitement going. So you can just keep creating and thinking of new things that you want to do, and when you hear something, you can just make it happen. And I'll try and show that as best as I can in this demo today. So yeah, we've got our bass line in here. Let's hear how that sounds. And okay, this 2-bar phrase is getting a little limited right now for me. I'd like to actually make it longer. I want to make it 4 bars. If we need to see the full sequence, we can click this tiny little arrow here, which will minimize that, or you can resize. But let's just get the full one out, and we'll press the plus sign, and that's going to duplicate from 2 bars to 4 bars, and you'll see that all of the automation and all the MIDI information has copied over again. So now and then maybe in this bass line, we'll just change up the bass line so we can, I don't know, do like a something. We'll do like another. Yeah, just so it has like a slight turnaround there.
That's another streamlined thing there. You just hit, when you add more bars, it automatically duplicates all of the channels you got going. That's something else that just streamlines everything. Workflow. Yes.
You got it. So we've worked primarily now with these like instruments and drums, and that's all pretty standard in any other DAW. Now we're going to open up the add sample feature, and this add sample is essentially the Serato Sample plugin, but within Serato Studio. So if anyone who's already been working with Serato Sample in here will know how powerful it is, but if you don't, I'll try and like showcase how it works within Studio. That's a little bit different. But one of the things, again, considering we're working in the key of D minor and the project tempo of 95, I want to add an audio sample in here, And this is where I'm going to go to my Serato DJ library, and I'm going to pull in an acapella. So this is something that I'm just going to like look for from my crates, which I've already set up for in Serato DJ, and I can just go in here and look for different things that I want. So I think I actually know what I want to use here, and it's a Rihanna acapella. Don't tell her, and don't tell her record label that I'm doing this. But which shouldn't get us blocked on YouTube. It's the one I'm looking for.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. We're looking
if the stream goes dark, you have Rihanna to blame, not us.
I think we'll be okay. The one I'm looking for is...
So when you drag it in, is it going to automatically tune it to the key of the project?
Yes. Yeah.
And if you change the key of the project, will everything in the project that is melodic change?
Yes.
So you can you can tune the entire track on the fly, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're working in D minor, and actually this is something we'll probably want to do because I've added this acapella in here now. This is the Kiss It Better acapella by an unknown artist yet to be discovered. And you'll see here there's a sync button, and you'll see the tempo of 95 beats per minute. It's synced the tempo to 95 beats per minute. Well, that's not too much really to write home about because it's already 95, but you'll see here the key is synced, and that key is +6, so 6 semitones up, which is originally at G sharp minor, so it's synced to D minor. That's probably going to sound a little chipmunky, so maybe we'll need to tweak that a little bit. But let's see what happens. We've got some cue points here throughout the song, the 8 chops, if you will. So yeah, it's really chipmunky, but I'm just going to turn this down a bit. Let's just hear how this sounds, just for example. So this is a randomly generated sample from chop from Serato Studio, Serato Sample, Serato Studio, and that's actually pretty decent to me. I'm just gonna work with that one. I'm gonna favorite it because if I wanted to find more samples, I could just click Find Samples, and it would find all these different chops throughout the song randomly. If I wanted to use a slicer, I could use the slicer as well, which would slice it up into divisions that I would select. You can see here.
So if you favorite it, it's essentially locking it. So if you use any of those generative tools, it doesn't mess with that one because you locked it down essentially. Yeah.
Essentially, exactly, and that's because I really like that one. I'm just gonna keep that one. And if I'm just kind of giving you a very brief overview of some of the features in here. You can adjust the attack and release of each one of these slices. You can adjust the tempo of each one of these slices, half or double time it. You can adjust the key of it. Or if you press on this little keyboard here, this will give you the 8 notes of D minor of that one chop spread out over your keyboard. So you can obviously see already there's probably a lot of potential here if you wanted to kind of use this as a melodic instrument, or anything you throw at the sampler, it'll allow you to really mess with it very quickly and without any degradation to the sound with the pitch and time algorithm, which is kind of like the Serato special sauce, if you will. And that's the thing that I think everyone seems to be really loving about Serato Sample and Serato Studio is the time stretching algorithm is really strong and very clear. So I'm not gonna pitch this one. I think I'm just gonna keep it as its original pitch. But I do, like I said, I do find this is a bit chipmunky, and so I actually want to shift the whole key of this whole project. I want to shift it all the way down to A minor. Let's do A sharp. So this is still pitched up 2 semitones, but it sounds a little bit better. Let's hear how it sounds in the mix. And I just don't need to have that last bit there. I'll just edit that off.
Hey Matt, that hey is actually really working right now.
Oh, you want to? Oh yeah, the little.
No, the hey, yeah, yes. That is awesome. Full circle with the hey there.
Happy.
So I just want to be clear that for people watching, this effect sample that you're using right now is available as a VST, just a standalone VST, and this is exactly what it is, right? I think you get more slots.
Yeah, you get 32.
It seems like you get 32 in the plugin. You get 8 here, but it's the same technology, and most I think all of the different features that are here are in the VST as well. And I think if we can, I'm just going to go ahead and give away a copy of both Serato Sample and Serato Studio right now. For people watching, hit it in the chat. Let me know your favorite producer. Could be any genre. Just let me know who your favorite producer is. And my friend Leon's going to pick 2 winners. And you're going to win either Studio, which we've been talking about all day today, or is that the VST version right there?
That is, yeah.
Or the Serato Sample that Matt has up on the screen right now. Maybe if you want to just show everybody what the actual VST looks like.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry, I just had to make sure we get that air horn.
It has to be done. I'm so excited.
Air horn quota is fulfilled. But yeah, so a lot of our pro users are using Serato Sample within Serato Studio as well. And simply because Serato Sample has more slices. So, yeah, if you I guess we'll just go back to our DJ library. We'll load the same acapella in here just to show you as an example. Yeah,
lots more slices, as you were saying.
Yeah, and so this is going to sync to the project key here. It's going to sync to the project BPM. You can turn that off.
Oh, it syncs right up with Studio, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then you can do the find samples thing where you get the full 32 samples, or you can do the pull in your DJ cue points if you use Serato DJ, or the set slicer. And this white line is what we call the playhead. So you want to get this to wherever you want to slice, and then you just click set slicer, and then that'll give you the slices relative to the BPM of the song. So it'll give you one beat slices for 95 beats per minute. You can do half beat slices, or 2 beat slices, 4 beat slices, and so on and so forth. Really, really, really intuitive and really fun to use. So that's why we're seeing a lot of very pro level users using it in their DAWs. If I can give a quick shout out to Disclosure and Timbaland and DJ Dahi and Jazzy Jeff, they're all some pretty big names that are using this plugin. We're very grateful for their use of it. It's definitely moving some units for us, so thank you guys.
Yeah, shout out Timbaland. I'll give him a call after we wrap up to let him know we were talking about it. I'm sure he'll be excited.
Right. Okay, so yeah, Serato Sample, I'm going to delete that. We're not using that. So we've got a little kind of groove here. I'm going to add a little bit of effects to this. We can add it on just this sample, just this cue here, or on the whole bus. I'm just going to put it on the cue for now. Let's put a little dub echo. Love this dub echo. It's so cool. And maybe this is like a effects chain, so maybe we'll put a little reverb on here too, just from the stock effects. Yeah, there we go. Now it's got a little bit more space. Maybe I need to turn it down a bit or filter it a little bit, take some of the low ends out, and if we want to move this around, by the way, this is one of the things I didn't talk about. You can move the cue around really easily, and you can also highlight a region with this little bottom triangle.
Matt, your camera is over the section you're showing. You might want to move yourself if you can. Yeah, no problem.
There we go. We'll just hang out down here for now. There we go. Nice. Thank you for that. So yeah, you've got these little triangles here, so you can move them around and highlight regions, and you can see it kind of syncs and snaps to the grid on there. You can also edit the grid if it's off key or off BPM, sorry, and that's got a little metronome there to keep you on time. There's a lot to it. It just depends on how far you want to go with it. But again, it's all using pitch and time, so it stretches and warps it just exactly how you'd want and how you'd expect. I'm probably not going to go into beat grids right now. It's definitely its own kind of session, there's so many different approaches to it depending on what sort of music and what you're trying to achieve. But there is videos online about that. I've made some videos myself just talking about beat grids. The good thing is if you've learned how to do them in Serato DJ, it's the same process in Serato Studio, And if you've done the beat grids in either Serato Studio or Serato DJ, they talk to each other, so you only have to do them once. That's the kind of the benefit of this kind of Serato ecosystem, if you will, is that everything is, related, so it's all talking to each other, and you don't have to redo things, which is, again, all part of that fast and easy and fun workflow. We've got a cool little pattern. I'm going to add one more sample in here. I'm just going to add a percussion element, and I'm going to pull in that from my audio samples. I got like this little smart crate here, which is another thing that you'll be familiar with if you're a Serato DJ user, is the kind of this crate structure here, which is basically a way to organize your files and music. And it applies to all of the things like the drums, the samples, the effects, the instruments, your plugins. So you can see I've got a fave plugins ones, I've got an instrument one, I've got a mastering one, and going back to the audio samples, I've got a smart crate, which is basically a crate that follows a set of rules. So I've set up a rule from that the file name contains shaker, and that means anything in the audio samples area that has shaker in the name will automatically be populated within this crate, so I won't have to go searching for it. And so I'm just going to drag that in there. Again, that's going to sync the tempo and the key. Probably don't need a percussion element to be synced, so I can just turn that off and I can return it to its original pitch, and I'll just throw that in there. Or actually, this is another good opportunity to show you. You can just you can change the playback mode. So if you want to, instead of having it momentary, you want to trigger it, you can just click this option here, and this will now play the the whole sample as it goes. So I just realized I messed up our sample here. There we go.
Oh no.
Cool. So we've got this whole section here, this whole like sequence is sounding pretty good. Probably the burning question that I don't know if people are in the chat are asking, but like, okay, cool, we got a cool loop. What next? And this is the most important thing to really think about when you're making beats, especially, is you got a cool loop. How do you make it into a song? And it's really easy in Serato Studio. You have like this loop. You can just copy this whole sequence. And I'm just going to copy it a couple times. And let's do 4 times. And this one is my intro. So being that as an intro, I'm just going to keep it really, really simple. I'm going to take the drums out, actually. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm just going to take, let's just clear out the kick drum, the snare. Let's clear out the MIDI for the bass. And let's clear out the percussion. So now this intro is really just we've got a really simple, straightforward pattern here. We go to our song view. We can actually start putting the arrangement here. So you'll see I was in this library view here. Click on this area called song view, and this gives us the arrangement area. So then you can start dragging these sequences into this timeline, basically. Maybe in this one, I don't want to have the percussion, and I don't want the bass. So I'm just clearing the MIDI out. And this one will be drums, we'll call it. And then we'll call this one bass. And we'll call this one shaker. I'm doing a very, very rough sequence. This isn't very complicated at all, but it just to give you the idea of like how you can arrange your songs quickly and easily. And in this one, I'm going to need to remove the shaker. So this one kind of has everything. And we'll just play it from the top now. And then we'll make another one without any vocals. So we could, treat that like a rap part, something like that. So yeah, I'm just really broad strokes here, just kind of making an arrangement here. And a couple other things I want to show is the automation. This is something that, if you're a producer, you know how important automation is to kind of give your songs a little bit more life, a little bit more dynamics and movement. So let's pull up this little robot in the corner here. I'm just realizing I might be obscuring the song view here, so I'll pull myself up here again. And yeah, how are we doing there, Josh?
Looks good.
Cool.
I'm following along. I'm loving it. I'm loving the track, to be honest, man.
Thank you. So let's go to this little robot guy, automation. This is going to now allow us to automate different things in each of one of these instrument decks or drum decks. And the first thing I want to do in my mind that is screaming to me to be done is let's automate a filter on this vocal so it kind of starts coming in really slowly and nicely. So you can see here you can automate individual cues, or you can automate the whole sample deck, just depending on what you want to do. And we've got a filter here already, so we don't have to add one on here. Let's just quickly add some sidechain. I'm a sidechain freak. I love sidechain. And I like
gotta have it, man.
Everything. Put it on everything. Broad strokes. But what I want to do is actually I want to automate this filter, and I want to have it come in. So I've just clicked on the filter, and you'll see here it's now selected from this drop-down menu. You've got two options for automation. You can do like a bar, bar adjustment, or you can use just recently added a line automation. And line automation will be very familiar to most of you, especially if you've used things like Ableton. So I'm just going to bring this all the way down here, set a little notch there, and then we'll go to the end here, and we'll just click this one, and we'll bring it up. And if we want to see the whole thing, you can see this is just bringing a nice line automation into the vocal on this intro sequence. So let's also put it on the keys. I think that'll sound really nice as it's kind of like an intro. So we'll click on that there, and we'll bring that down, especially because the keys are kind of going the whole time. We'll click there as well, and this will give us some movement on the intro. Let's hear how that sounds. Did I do that right? No, I didn't. What did I put it on? Let's just see.
You put automation on something.
Put it on the drums. I need to put it on. I need to make sure I hit this sequence when I'm doing the automation. Let's do it now.
Does Control Z work in Serato Studio?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's the most important hotkey of all time. Let's hear how it sounds. Now I'm realizing something as I'm doing this, that this isn't quite working how I want, because it's doing the filter before the RC20. So in this situation, I'm gonna actually gonna reset this. I'm gonna put a filter on. Actually, I could probably even affect a filter in RC20. You've got all these ability to automate anything in RC20 as well, which is probably important for everyone to know.
While you're looking for that, I'm going to go ahead and give away another copy of Serato Sample in Serato Studio.
Okay.
So this time, I'm going to say it's a very simple question. For your chance to win, do you know who Benny Blanco is? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. And if you don't know, you should go look him up.
Yeah, he's a big deal. Did I say that?
Over a 500 million records sold, bro.
Wow.
People talk about Eminem's got 10 million. He's got 500 million.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, and that's like old news, bro. That's never mind updated facts here. Like, my goodness.
Okay, you know what? I was thinking, you know what? I'm not going to do the filter on this one. Let's use the breaker plugin. This is another thing that's very popular in contemporary music. And it's just such an effective effect, especially for this kind of music. It just brings that whole lo-fi vinyl world to the right there. So we're going to use the breaker effect, and I'm going to put it on. I'm just going to make sure we...
Is this a built-in effect?
It is, yep. We're going to put it on this
nice.
sequence, the drum sequence too, so it's going to create a breaker effect just before the bass comes in. So I'm going to use the blocks here on this one. So instead of the line automation, I'm going to go to bars 3 and 4, and I'm just going to turn on the breaker for the last... This is on the keyboard. Actually, we don't need to...
So you're making like a fill right here, essentially.
Yeah.
What it seems like.
Yeah, exactly. So that should be probably enough. And we'll put that... Maybe we'll also put the breaker on the drums. And we'll go to this one here. This will sound... Oops, not doing the right one. There we go.
So the green there would have been the individual hit that you had selected, and now you're doing it for the entire kit, right?
That's right. So let's hear how this sounds. There we go. That sounds pretty cool.
Yes, it does.
So let's hear how that sounds in the whole song.
Yep.
Yeah, you get the
idea. Killing
idea.
the game, Matt. Killing the game, bro. You out here making hits on stream, son.
Trying to get that Benny Blanco levels, you know?
Yeah. we were talking about Benny. I'm going to call him up after the stream as well and let him know.
Please do.
Talking about my Plug and Boutique channel.
So you kind of get the idea here. This is a basic sequence. I want to add an audio track, and we talked a bit about this part at the very beginning when we talked about like adding, just doing a basic edit. And it's really important for me to show you this because this is an area where you can start adding audio in more of a traditional arrangement way. So you can put samples in here. So maybe I want to put in, let's see what I got. Maybe I want to put in, I don't know, like a crash sound. So I have favorite sound effects. I got like I don't know, like one of these ones, pretty classic. And I just want to put that in right here. And I'll just turn that. I don't need it to be key synced. It's a kind of percussive effect. I don't even need it to be beat synced, really. You just need it to hit at the right place. So now, too loud. My bad. Let's bring that down.
Coming in hot.
Yeah. And of course you can put, your effects on here if you want. Good old sidechain again. Crank that. And you can also put in other things like, from the Serato DJ library, for example. Maybe I have like a rap acapella. I want to create, I don't know, a crazy, remix thing that doesn't exist but exists in my brain. Let's see if we got, try and find something that's not too profane. What do I got here?
Yes, let's keep it family friendly, please.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know.
Somewhere under the rainbow.
Yeah, I think this one might work. Yes. Yeah, this will work. And I'm gonna bring in my. Oh, I don't have Serato cue points on this one. Weird.
Yes, y'all.
Let's unsync that.
Yes, y'all.
And we'll just move this.
Yes, y'all.
We'll just do yes, y'all. And you can also, like if you didn't want to do that moving of cues, you can just set a new one.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all.
And then I'm just gonna bring this in here. See how this sounds.
Yes.
Here, get rid of that.
Yes, y'all.
So I need to obviously move this on the grid.
Yes, y'all. And you don't stop to the beat, y'all.
Maybe just nudge it a little bit so it's a little bit behind.
How are you nudging it?
Just clicking and dragging slightly. You can see there's the grid lines here, so it's going to snap to the grid by default. By default, but you can nudge it off the grid if you need to, because it's vocals. These things need to be moved sometimes, and this is also a little bit loud. I'm going to put, I'm going crazy on sidechain here today. This is Sidechain City. I'm going to bring that down a bit, and maybe we'll put a little just like standard echo on here. Nothing too crazy.
Yes,
No
yes,
dub?
y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, yes.
And then we can just probably get this.
I have a question that's related to automation, Matt.
Yes.
What if I want to automate a fader over the course of two different sections? So you've got different sections. You got your intro, you got your no drums. Like, what if I want to automate that filter over the course of both of those sections? Is that possible?
And not really in an easy way, unfortunately, but what I would suggest is, and what I've been doing for that exact purpose is, essentially, I just will duplicate the whole sequence so that I can make it twice as long. So, I mean, you can make this up to 8 bars or 16 bars, I think. So, for the intro, if I wanted to have a longer filter drawn out, I would just duplicate it and add the automation like that. But yeah, I think one of the things that is coming, hopefully this year, is automation on these parts. Right now, you can't automate like an effect on the audio tracks. So that's a limitation of the software in its current state. And we'll hopefully see that change, because that's definitely something that I personally would want to use a lot, especially for exactly the purpose that you're saying. If I wanted to put like an automation on something for like, the whole song, for example, I'd like to be able to do that. And even on the master channel for things that, maybe making like a tempo transition or, just even a volume change on the master.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a great feature to have.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. These things will be coming in time. We're very acutely aware of the desires of producers, especially the more experienced producer. But yeah, we got like a little thing going on here. I'm just going to duplicate this vocal a bit more, and I think I might just call it at that for the demo. But let's have a listen. And there you go. You can obviously flesh that out much more if you chose to, just depending on.
Matt, can you give yourself the applause effect, please?
I can.
You've done it.
Okay. And thank you.
I mean, you've done it. You did a really great job, man. You ran through a host of really incredible features there, and you made a beat better than I could do with a whole day in a studio by myself on stream with the pressures of stream and explaining everything else along the way, man. Really well done. Just one more round of applause for yourself, please.
Okay. 1 second. Here we go. There we go. I do have one more thing, though, if you don't mind, Josh. I think this is probably one of the most important things to mention.
Then we should talk about it.
Yeah, the master channel. You can see you've got this, the full waveform with the color frequency readout, and that's all done in real time. And that's actually one of the things that people love about Serato DJ is that they get to see like this waveform. A lot of people, I heard Dylan Francis and a bunch of other producers will actually bounce out their songs from their DAW and bring them into Serato just to see the waveform. And this is
Yeah,
giving
for
you
sure.
that waveform readout with all the frequency colors, so the reds for the low ends and the greens and blues for the high ends. That will allow people to kind of see what frequencies they need to work on, and they can A/B it with other songs and so forth. And a lot of people just kind of rely on that. But in addition to that, if again, understanding that people may not use this as their primary DAW for everything that they do, because it does have some limitations at its current state. We know that people will probably want to export this, and obviously either DJ it or send it to somebody else. And you can do that obviously by exporting as a WAV or MP3. But you can also export the stems, and if we export the stems or the individual drum pads, it's going to decrease. We can have the option to decrease the audio files by 6 dB to give us plenty of headroom. And
Nice.
let's just do a quick demo of that. I'm going to press export. I'm going to call this Boutique. And that's
Plug-in Boutique.
yeah, that's going to bounce out. Let's get that air horn.
I need that, man. I need that in my life for my streams, man. I need this.
I got you. And then when that's done, and it should be done fairly soon, we'll just pull up the here we go, desktop. What happened there? Okay, cool. So you'll see here that in this folder for Plugin Boutique, we have all of the instruments laid out as it is, and it also has all of the key and tempo information, so that if somebody needed to, if someone needed to, for whatever reason, send it to an engineer to mix, they could do that, and that have all that information tagged, all the files tagged, and no problems for whoever's needing to work on that. So that's something that I think a lot of people really, they really need that, especially when they're going to use it on
Sure.
on another collaborator or whatever.
Well, really well done, man. Really, really nice plugin, or not even plugin, DAW it is, Serato Studio. I'm going to go ahead and give away a copy of it and another copy of Serato Sample to one lucky winner. Let me know in the chat the last plugin you got from Plugin Boutique, or a plugin you want to get from Plugin Boutique, and you could win a copy of Serato Sample or Serato Studio. And Matt, I've got some questions from the users, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
fielding
absolutely.
these. And then we'll get to the massive grand giveaway right after that. Crass2047 is, does it fade at the chops automatically? And I'm guessing, and I'm assuming it has to do with Serato Sample. So are there slight fades at the beginning and the ends of wherever the chops are made in Serato Sample?
I don't think I even know the correct answer for that.
I would assume there is, because there's not a lot of clicking going on. So I'm sure there's a very short one.
Yeah, I'll just have to
guess.
Yeah, I'll just have to guess there. Unfortunately, it's definitely something we can find out in a bit more detail. But yeah, I think that you have the ability to do that as well with the attack and release. So if it doesn't, then you can still do that. I guess to a certain degree. Yeah.
And then Goosetronics is wondering what the compressor that comes with Serato Studio is like, if it's modeled after a certain one. Is it, is it a glue compressor maybe? Is it an emulation of something specific? Or
it's a good question too. I feel like these are very good questions that I wish I had the right answers to. There are different compressors in here, so I've just pulled them up. Actually, I'm just going to move you out of the way a bit there. Oops. Josh, so we can see that.
I'm floating.
So you'll see here, there's under the compressor, there's a soft to hard parallel and a master compressor. I couldn't tell you exactly what they're modeled after, but I would imagine that they would be modeled after like the classics, the UAs and whatever else you guys are using.
Yeah, I think this is like the DAW itself isn't really. It's meant to just, you put a hard compressor on it and kind of leave it at that and let it do its job, rather than going after a certain model of a certain compressor from back in the day, because that's not what Serato Studio is really after. We're looking at getting compression done with the click of a button, right?
Yeah, but I mean, and saying that, I think a lot of people, if you have like really great compressor plugins, you can use them all your own plugins in here.
Yeah.
So if you do have that UA bundle, or, I know there's tons of good
something from Plugin Boutique.
Something from Club, exactly. Buy from Plugin Boutique. You got it.
Simon Phoenix is wondering if you can record vocals into studio, and I believe you already answered that, and that is not available now, but is something that's coming maybe in the near future.
Yeah, I'd say watch this space for in May. As soon as May, you might see or hear something. So that's a little, preview.
And then we have Mohanad Ahmed, and he's wondering if you can extract the MIDI from a drum sample loop or drum loop. If you can.
That's a great question. Yes, and that's something I didn't cover yet, and it's something that I think is really important. We have a patterns tab in here, and we have your own. You can make your own MIDI patterns and bounce them out, or you can import MIDI patterns from other DAWs as well. It's really simple to do. I don't have it so like you can see my toolbar, but under the Create tab. If you make a drum pattern, so like if I go to this drum pattern that I've adjusted, even I'm going to turn the sequence off. There will be the option to actually save that under the Create tab in Serato Studio at the top. It says it gives you the option to save deck preset or save pattern. So you can either save the whole drum kit with all the sounds that you've made, with all the effects, or you can save the pattern as well, and both will be stored in your user library. The pattern will show up in the saved patterns, and the drum rack or drum deck will show up in the saved deck preset. So you can see I've made a couple here already.
Fantastic. Yes, very good question, very good answer. And that's gonna do it. That's all the questions I got. And I think it's time to give away this massive producer bundle provided by the good people of Serato and Plugin Boutique. What we got on the line right now for one lucky winner is a copy of Serato Studio, Serato Sample, an Akai MPK Mini3 keyboard, 2 Mackie CR3X monitors, including the cables, and a set of Mackie MC250 headphones. Massive bundle, and one lucky person going to... Give us the applause, too. Let's just do it all. Throw all the effects at it, because, yes. Oh, nice. I mean, so this is it. Let me know in the chat right now for your chance to win this. But this is all you need to do, right? Is let me know the coolest feature you saw today in this live stream about Serato Studio. Let me know the coolest feature you saw today in the chat right now for your chance to win this. That's all you need to do. And obviously hit that like button if you haven't already. But just while they're doing that, Matt, I'd like to thank you again for coming by, being a fabulous product specialist / artist manager. No, artist relations manager, not artist manager relations. But you did a really great job. It was a great track. It was a great demo. And, it's not easy to do these things, but you've knocked it out of the park, my friend. So thank you for coming by and sharing this with us. And, when you got the next version, maybe you can come by and do it again. We'd love to have you, obviously.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Josh. And thank you, everyone who tuned in and watched. If I can just say, there is a free version you can download. You can even do a trial. Just give it a try. You never know. It might really inspire you. And I think this is the way to look at it is that, with making music, you're always looking for new inspiration and ways to get yourself creative in different ways. And this is a great tool to help you do that.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, it's, as I said, it's kind of aimed at beginners, but it's got the advanced features that you need for even if you are someone who's been involved with production for a while. And it's just got that streamlined workflow. And I harp about this all the time when I do streams and videos. Quick workflow is just essential for my job. And even when you have just like an idea, if you get bogged down with technical stuff, like you might not get the idea out quick enough. But using something like Serato Studio, it's just got all the tools you need there, very quick and very easy to get your idea down. And then if you need to go to another DAW, you can, but having it there to do the sketching, if you will, exactly. With all of the easy to use features is just absolutely phenomenal. I've got the winners here. I'm going to let everybody know. So if your name is called right now, just send an email to support@pluginboutique.com and say that you were the Serato stream winner and just say what you won, and we will hook you up with what you got. So the winners of Serato Sample, Novo Pulsar, Thomas Loyd, Bedroom Producer, Washington Silva, and KÄIBURR. That's KAIB. Yes. KAIBURR. You are the winners of the sample plugin. Also, after the stream, we're going to leave all of these names in the video description if you missed it or if I've said your name wrong. So the winners of Serato Studio, Dreivko, Dreivko, Arsonloke, Arsonloke, JerZboy Beats, Double M Pro, and John Sibri, Sibri. Well done. Yes. And now, drum roll, please. You got a drum roll?
Oh man, I don't. I got a triangle.
That's it. That's all we need. That's what. That's
Actually, I got a glockenspiel. Let's do this one.
Yep. That was the one. Well done, sir. The winner of the Grand Producer Pack is Hitesh Bandhu. HITESHBANDHU. Congratulations, my friend. You are the winner of all of that great gear, including Serato Sample, including, can I get a...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's what we needed. So everybody that was just called, make sure to email support@pluginboutique.com. I do want to just let you know it's the end of the day Friday. It's the weekend, and then it's a bank holiday on Monday. So there might be a little bit of a delay on us getting back to you, but trust me, we look at every email we get at support@pluginboutique.com. So you will get your prizes in midweek next week. Obviously, we have to mail Hitesh his bundle, but you get what I'm saying. Just be patient with us for that holiday. I believe it's Mother's Day this Sunday, right?
Oh, I need that reminder, man. Thank you for that, if it is.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I believe it's Mother's Day. So happy birthday, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Make sure to say thanks to your mom. And I would like to just thank you one more time, Matt, for stopping by and giving us a great presentation at Serato Studio. Really great beat, really great product, and we're excited to be linked up with you over on Plugin Boutique. So.
Yeah, big up. Thank you so much, Josh, and thank you, Plugin Boutique, for having me. Thank you to everyone who helped get this going and everyone who tuned in.
All right. Sounds good, man. That's it. So thanks, everybody who tuned in. Congratulations to all the winners. I'm Joshua Casper. That's Matt Perry for Serato. This is Plugin Boutique. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next stream or the next video.